Hi guys! Today I wanted to talk to you about journaling. And I hope this video will be helpful for those who never journaled before or maybe just considering journaling, and as well as for those who actually have a lot of experience journaling. I personally started journaling before age of 10 or around age 10, so if you count the years, it actually has been more than 20 years of writing diaries and journals. More than 20 years after, I moved to another continent, learned a new language, got into medical school, became a doctor, and landed my dream job. So I do think that journaling helped me get to where I want. Of course, it was not the only factor, but it was definitely a part of a puzzle of that personal growth. A lot of celebrities journal, a lot of successful people in the world journal. Any life coach that you can think of is a proponent of journaling. For example, Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn. A famous quote from Jim Rohn is, "If you're serious about becoming a wealthy, powerful, sophisticated, healthy, influential, cultured, and unique individual, keep a journal. Don't trust your memory. When you listen to something valuable, write it down. When you come across something important, write it down." There's a lot of anecdotal evidence and expert opinion evidence on benefits of journaling. It is a little bit challenging, as you can imagine, to design a randomized control study on effects on mental health or success or personal growth of journaling. However, I'm a big believer and proponent of journaling, so I wanted to share this with you as part of what helped me in my journey, in the hopes that this will help somebody else out there who maybe is just a few steps behind me. So how did it help for me? As I was growing up and was looking into ways to develop myself and achieve my dreams, this was a place where I could park my goals, park my ideas, sort out my thoughts before, I could have a psychotherapist or life coach or a mentor that wasn't available to me at that time. And it was also a place where I would often park some good ideas or quotes or interesting thoughts that I would capture from the world. That could be from books, mostly from books, or some publications, but often it was also from people who inspired me, and it might be from a video that I watched or a tape that I listened to. And if it provoked something in me, or some sort of a reflection or some sort of an analysis of that thought that meant something to me, I would often rush to write it down, because as much as I would want and try and hope that I could keep all the thoughts that pass through my mind, there's gazillions of thoughts that we go through as our day goes. It's impossible to keep track of all of them. Sometimes if I don't write it down, I will forget, and then I could not remember it for the life of me. So another way a journal could help is, it is a way or a tool for you to self-reflect, and it is known to help with emotional regulation and building up that emotional intelligence. I often would use my journal as a place to maybe describe some of the conflicts that I go through life, that I don't generally use it as a complaining ground or a dump of negativity. However, in my early stages, that's what I thought journals are for. So I did use it for a little bit like that, but over time I realized that there are actually so many more other ways in which you can use journal, and that was probably one of the least effective or serving ways of using journaling time. I also use my journal to keep a record of useful exercises. I always had interest in personal growth, psychology, and self-help books, and a lot of them would often have different prompts or psychological exercises that would often have curious outcomes or curious results, and I wanted to keep them all in one place. And finally, as I went through a lot of courses and read a lot of books over the last few years, as my interest in mindfulness and self-compassion grew, I find that my journal is actually also a good place for me to give some self-compassion to myself in the end of sometimes quite crazy day, or in the midst of the situation that's happening in the world or in life, or for whatever reason, if I'm feeling down or like a failure. Sometimes journal might be my only place where I can sort of talk to myself in a way of a friend who has my best interests in mind, a way I would talk to a very dear friend. So there are different types of journals. Some of them are already pre-printed with the prompts. Some of them are bullet journals. There's also a type of journal that's a travel journal. The idea behind the travel journal is that it's maybe something smaller and a little bit lighter, so it allows you to pack a little lighter, and then you have those journals stored somewhere separately. I tried all sorts of diaries, but most often I would just use a free form of journaling because the prompts that I would use would change over the years, and sometimes it will be an unprompted diary entry, sometimes it will be more of a free flow writing, and sometimes I would want to actually have a journaling session where I actually want to achieve something. The good thing about journaling is that there's no right or wrong way to do it really, as long as it helps you grow and develop your skills. And in terms of skills, I think the most valuable skills that I'm gaining from journaling is emotional intelligence, self-regulation, self-compassion, and goal setting. Just finessing your goals, just crystallizing what is it that you want to do with your life. Because if you journal about it day in and day out, if you keep track of your dreams, your goals, your ideas, you will see a trend. You will find that you're writing repetitively about something again and again and again. You can also have journals for specific themes or aspects of your life. So for example, I have a gardening journal, I have a business journal, I also have a health journal, and of course the biggest and my main journal is my personal life, personal development, self-growth journal. It doesn't have a tag on it, but that one has the most bulk information, but to keep some of the unrelated topics a little bit separate, such as gardening or business or health maybe, or diets. Sometimes when I experiment with certain nutritional approaches, I have separate journals for that. Of course, another option is online journaling, and some people find that more useful or helpful depending on what is your level of comfort with technology and whether you like to have a physical journal or something electronic that you can access from anywhere in the world. There's a bunch of apps right now that have journaling either as a part of like a personal growth app, or there's even journaling app on iPhone these days. If you want to start journaling and you don't know quite where to begin, I have a PDF attachment here. It's absolutely free. This is something I use myself sometimes, and this document contains a few journal prompts that you can use just to get you started, because sometimes you may have a free flow of thoughts, but if you're staring at a blank page, you might as well use something that will help you get started. So some of the most helpful or useful questions I found over the years throughout different journaling exercises and writing prompts would be, what did I learn about myself today? This one allows you some self-reflection and self-observation. You can write pretty much anything about yourself that you discovered. What was the magical moment of the day? Or what was the highlight of my day? Look back at your day and think about what was something that you want to remember. What was something you are grateful for maybe, or something that you didn't expect and was a positive outcome for you. These things could be obvious. Sometimes you have to kind of dig a little bit deeper or think about it for a moment and reflect. Oftentimes our days are so fast-paced and life is so hustled that in the rush of a daily life, in the hamster wheel of life, we don't always look back and reflect on those positive moments. and our nervous system is kind of geared towards focusing on negativity, and that maybe one interaction or one failure or something that maybe not even is a failure but is perceived by us as a failure will kind of color our day for us. Another question I would often use is, what am I proud of for today? And this is not necessarily a big thing to be proud of. It could be something like, I managed to work out despite feeling quite lazy today, or I managed to get up and do XYZ, or I cleaned the house even though I was tired, or whatever you think you could pat yourself on the back. And on the days where I really feel down and I really struggle, maybe it was, what am I proud of, and it could feel sometimes a little artificial, I still try to cheer up myself with, how will I rock tomorrow? If I really think that today was a horrible, horrible day, nothing went right, although I would challenge you I would invite you to explore how we can avoid absolute words such as nothing went wrong, or everything was bad today, or everything was negative. Anyways, going back to the topic of, if I really want to cheer myself, give myself a little bit of an extra boost of positive energy or positive thinking, I would ask myself, how can I rock it tomorrow? So this could be something that will make me think about something to look forward to tomorrow. So for example, if I plan a fun event, fun activity, or I have something coming up where I have to be in charge, how will I shine there? Or this could be something like, tomorrow I will get that workout. If today, let's say, I didn't manage to get my workout, or I didn't manage to complete some assignment or work task, or whatever was it that I was hoping to achieve, but due to certain circumstances, it didn't happen, I can set a goal of how will I rock tomorrow, and only I decide what it will be. In summary, there are multiple benefits of journaling, including improved self-regulation and emotional intelligence. There are multiple ways of doing it. There's no right or wrong way. There's multiple types of journals you can have, and there's many different approaches you can take, or a gazillion of different writing prompts you can use for journaling. I invite you to explore journaling and just try it out, even if it's just a little paragraph, even if it's a little scribble and you speak multiple languages and half of the sentence is in one language and the second half of the sentence is in another language. True story, personal experience. I hope you give it a try, and I hope you found this video helpful. Also, feel free to use the attached PDF with writing prompts to give you a little bit of a head start in journaling. Happy journaling, and see you next week.